So what do you call a person who spends a half century with an organization but's not a Montreal Canadian? You call him Bob Plager. Now, Bob Plager, when you think of the St. Louis Blues, his name comes up because he's been with the franchise on and off for a half century. Now, he played defense in the NHL for 14 seasons from 64 to 78, again, mostly for the Blues, who came into the NHL in 67. Now, he grew up in the Kirkland Lake, Ontario area in a hockey family. His father was a chief official in the Northern Ontario Hockey Association, and his brothers Bill and Barclay also made the NHL. Now, he got his major start with the Guelph Biltmore Mad Hatters of the OHA, which later turned into the Guelph Royals in the next 2 seasons. 62, he was also with the Kitchener or Waterloo Beavers of the BEPHL, and 63 was back in Guelph, where he put up some impressive numbers, 39 points in 45 games. Now, 63, he was with the Clippers, then found himself again back in the Rangers organization, and he finally broke in with the NHL in 65 with 10 games with the Rangers. Now, in 65, he also skated with the Vancouver Canucks of the WHL and the Baltimore Clippers of the AHL. Now, with the Rangers in 66, a lot of people felt he was going to get one last big chance with the Rangers or find his time elsewhere, and that's what happened. He was sent back to Minnesota of the CPHL and Baltimore of the AHL, and he couldn't make the big squad. Now, the big break for him came in NHL expansion. Now, he wasn't drafted by St. Louis, but he was traded to St. Louis along with Gary Sabourin, Tim Ecclestone, and Gordie Cannageezer for Team Canada, Ranger, Leaf player, and all-around strong skater Rod Searling on June 6, 1967. Now, Plager was then reunited with his brothers as the St. Louis Blues started their existence with a hard-hitting, defensive-oriented squad that appeared in 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals, augmented by former Montreal Canadiens like Doug Harvey and Jacques Plante, Glenn Hall, Al Arbour, a lot of key skaters. Now, Plager earned a reputation as a bruising player with a devastating hip check that was similar to kind of Ulf Nielsen, Ulfa Samuelsson style of the modern era. Off the ice, he was known as a prankster, was able to bond with teammates through his lighthearted demeanor. Now, despite his injuries, he was able to play 615 games over 11 years on the St. Louis Blue Line well into the late 70s. Now, he played 4 years with his brothers in St. Louis, which it can be a legend and a movie in itself. Bill and Barclay and Bob didn't like the goal scorers of other teams, and he used to call them the magnets because the top player from the other team would always get hit by one of the 3. I don't know if it was the basis of the Hanson brothers, but you can probably see the parallels. Now, when he retired in 1978, he took a job with the Blues front office. Now, he is credited with developing the process of advanced scouting. Now, during the 91 season, he took over head coach at Peoria Rivermen, a Blues affiliate club. Now, in his 1 season behind the bench, he led the team to a Turner Cup championship and won the Commissioner's Trophy as Coach of the Year. Now, during the 93 season, he became the Blues head coach, but unhappy with his new role, he resigned after 11 games to return to his job as Vice President of Player Development. Now, New Jersey was retired on February 2nd, 2017, the 7th for a Blues player. He has been either a coach, player, executive, or for nearly all of the Blues' existence going into the Stanley Cup era of the past year. Now, Plager's brothers, Bill and Barclay, we will be doing future podcasts on them, but this is very interesting. I only learned this from some research. He's a converted Jew, so very spiritual guy. He didn't play like a spiritual person on the ice because he didn't put up a major point total, but he put up some major hits as he went along. 77 was his last season. He got 10 points in 54 games. Did play in the minors for a couple of years later, but for a lot of people, his best season, even though statistically it wasn't the best, was the initial Stanley Cup final run where he played some solid playoff minutes, and he netted 69 penalty minutes and 18 playoff games, which also almost matched his penalty minute total in the regular season. Coaching record again 4-6-1 in '93. Now he is on a very short list of Jewish ice hockey players. Not because the Judaism is not a strong has a strong presence in boxing and different sports, but it doesn't happen very often where there's a hockey player that converts to Judaism. So quite an interesting career. Now the next two podcasts we'll talk about Barkley and Bill. We'll try to link them as best as possible. If you have a comment, a like, or subscribe, please put it together. And it's pretty interesting how sports goes. Oh yeah, I finally found the list. The Jewish side of hockey, a lot of them are actually United States players, but I think the big one, of course, is Jack Hughes, which was an NHL entry draft, #1 overall. I think the experience has shown there's been a lot of Mike Weiser, very well known. When he converted to Judaism, he made an important announcement on that to support his fellow Jewish colleagues and countrymen. So big respect there.